Ladies and gentlemen, this is 100 years of Army Men toy buckets.
Oh my god, oh my god, oh my god!
From early 20th century Army Men all the way to modern day Army Men buckets. We're going to be working our way backwards, starting with the Timmy toy bucket here.
Whoa, very nice.
Alright, I've been getting a ton of requests to purchase Timmy toy products, and I finally did it in the form of this Army Men bucket, which I'm excited about. So this is copyright 2022, making it the most modern of all the buckets. But honorable mention to the 2024 BMC Toys Bucket of Soldiers, which we did open in a previous video, which featured some insanely detailed Army men and women, but we've already reviewed this bucket, so we're going to be going with the Timmy bucket today. Get out of here! Be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and comment down below. Now, it looks like we start off with a big old mountain for some reason. Very nice. We'll get to that. You also get a nice little fighter jet. So this is clearly Cold War Plus in terms of era. I think we'll get more clues as we go on. Is this an MA Patton tank, I want to say? I don't know. The quality is very good so far. Tracks do not move, sadly, but solid quality tank. And, oh, another fighter jet. Okay, we get two fighters for some reason.
I'm not even mad.
And, oh, that's it. Okay. Oh, wait, no. Hold up. Wait a minute. Stickers. As well as a flagpole. Okay, I'll put the stickers on. I'm not the biggest fan of stickers on this stuff. There's too much room for error and misplacement, but these aren't too hard to put on. You also get additional flagpole stickers, but the problem is we only have one flagpole. Maybe there's another in the mountain, but if there's only one, let's go with the Desert Command sticker. Boop. And basically, you line it up with the pole in the center, bring it around town. That's the problem with stickers, man. It's so annoying.
Come on, man.
All right, at least this side looks decent. This side looks horrible. Minus points for stickers. But at least it came with vehicles, which I'm not sure if any of the other ones from the past are going to have vehicles in them. Now let's get into the figures. Okay, so you get tan and green in here. Oh, wait, there is another flagpole. Oh god, I dropped the mountain. Haha, flagpole. And of course, a variety of Army Men. Now, Timmy has been producing Army Men for years, so you might recognize a lot of these troopers. And I'm seeing a lot of M16A4s and things along those lines. So I'm thinking this is sort of Cold War era. We've got tan kneeling gunners and green kneeling gunners for pretty much every single one of these Army Men. There will be the counterpart in the other color. Rocket troopers, laying down troopers firing. All of the quality is very, very solid on these guys. We got the radio operator right here. That's just a classic Army Men pose right there. Mortar trooper. Oh, and speaking of classic poses, the bayonet stabby boy. We got the minesweeper right here. I never understood this guy. Is he getting shot? Sometimes they have him holding a grenade, like he's throwing a grenade, but in this instance, I have no idea what he's doing. But he seems to be having a good time. Look at that smile. Of course, the classic flame trooper, the officer with the pistol and binoculars. This has always confused me. A Bren gunner, I'm pretty sure, which is odd because this is Cold War era, much more of a British World War II gun, but whatever. And the rest are pretty much all repeats. Then, of course, we have our mountain here, which does come with a keep out sticker on it and plenty of little ledges that you can stick the troopers on. It also has this danger mountain sign, which looks really cartoonish. It looks like Wile E. Coyote would have that, not a plastic Army Man. But again, in the sides of the mountain, there are little ledges here and there, so I don't know, I guess you could have a radio op here. This one's very skinny though. This is a very skinny ledge. The minesweeper fits. You sweeping for gold up there, my guy? Of course, there's the very peak. Not a ton of troopers really fit on the mountain, but it makes for like kind of a nice background, I suppose. All in all, for an Army Men toy bucket, I would not say it's as good as the BMC Toys bucket, but it's substantially cheaper. I believe this was around 30 bucks. And the actual Army Men are really solid quality. But now we're gonna be heading back in time to the early 2000s with the Disneyland and Walt Disney World sponsored Big Bucket O Soldiers. You got your boy Buzz Lightyear right there.
Am I really that fat?
And this is just like super nostalgic 2000s packaging right here. Of course I had to buy this on eBay though. All right, let's crack this thing open and breathe in some of that 25-year-old air here. Oh my goodness. Yeah, I don't think we're getting any vehicles in this, but definitely some interesting looking Army Men in here. Look at that. Still got some classic poses in here, but these are some very nice looking army men. We have like an officer over this way. Lots of fellas pointing. I'm actually kind of surprised Disney sold so many figurines with guns back in the day. I remember way back when I was a kid, riding the Pirates of the Caribbean ride at Disney World, and they would sell those muskets with little corks at the end that would pop. And I live nearby to Orlando now, and so we went again the other day, and they don't sell those anymore. They don't sell any sort of like gunnery at all. I think like the closest thing you'll get is blasters from Star Wars. But yeah, lots of troopers here. In fact, look at that. Ammo box trooper. Actually, we got a few of them. And that's a sniper. I'm looking for the machine gunner it goes with. Oh, I think it's this guy. Yeah, so I'm guessing, you know, this guy would fire the 50 cal, and there is the ammo box for him. Pretty cool that they've got like combo troopers in here. It's actually far more realistic and well put together than I ever thought it would be. These are very solid army men. We even got the Giga Chad Rambo army man. Look at that. Look at it. Look at this dude's pecs, bro. He's ripped.
Just call me daddy.
Instant Gaming has literally saved me thousands of dollars from their deals. And if you're watching this video, I'm guessing you like Army Men. You can get the Army Men RTS for $1.07 on Instant Gaming. You can play the Men of War Assault Squad 2 Army Men mod for $3.23, or the absolute classic Toy Soldiers for just $7. Let's not forget, you can also save crazy money on Xbox Game Pass, PlayStation Network cards, and Nintendo eShop credits. Trust me, Instant Gaming is extremely safe and my favorite place to buy cheap games. You even have like British troopers with the Thompson. And you know, these guys obviously have the M1 pod helmet, but then some of them have got the British flat brim helmet. Yeah, there's a metric ton of troops in here. All very good variety. I mean, it's certainly nothing like too interesting, but I mean, probably costs like $10 back in the day, and you get pretty good variety. They're high quality army men. It's not bad for 25-year-old army men. They're pretty good. Although I will say, in terms of like for making this video and getting to see unique, interesting army men, these ones are a little bit cookie cutter, a little bit boring, but still, I would say pretty great value for it and a pretty good bucket. But then we got to go even farther back to the 90s with the very original Bucket O soldiers from the 1990s.
What a time to be alive.
Okay, this bucket of soldiers should be complete. Obviously, it's used, but the seller reassured me all parts would be in there. And obviously, very different already. I don't know what that white tape is, but already I think you can tell that these 90s army men, ooh, they feel different too. They are extremely different from the ones from the 2000s. These are a lot larger. They also feel very gummy. Way more gummy and much more glossy. They also, are these made by Timmee? No, Disney Pixar Thinkway toys. However, they have all of the stances of the Timmee Toys ones from 2022. So either Timmee used the same stances, or maybe they sold the designs to Disney for this, or maybe they're just like non-copyrighted designs. I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. But these guys are all very similar to the Timmee toy ones. Hold on, I'm gonna get rid of the Lego base plate because these ones will not stand up on their own on there, really. The quality is actually impeccable with these. We do have some damage, like the radio ops antenna, I think, is supposed to go higher, but broke off. That's pretty understandable. You know, we got the LMG boys. Actually, there's a lot of radio ops laying down, guys. These ones are more rubber than plastic, I will say. I think that's why they feel so much more different. I think they're rubbery. Laying down firing position troopers. There we go. There's just the standard M16A4 trooper there. The dude who I have absolutely no idea what he's doing. Yeah, so this is all of the same stances that we saw before with the Timmee toys, but from 35 years earlier or whatever, and very different build quality, I will say. Okay, so 35 years of Army Men have gone by. Now it's time for some of the OGs. Now, these aren't the first Army Men to ever exist. You know, that's from probably the 1800s, maybe 1700s. I mean, mean, toy soldiers technically have existed from ancient times when they used to find, you know, quote-unquote action figures from small boys that would play with them, pretend war and stuff like that. But these are real old school lead toys. So these are actually pretty dangerous. Lead is not something that you want to consume or really touch too often because exposure to it can lead to diseases and cancers and things like that. So these are somewhat considered illegal army men since they will not produce them anymore. Look at that. That's crazy. I mean, it's not super dangerous that you can't like touch it and stuff like that. Obviously, they make lead fishing weights and things like that. However, overexposure to it and certainly putting your mouth around it and things like that, not healthy. Lead is being stripped out of everything because it's super you don't want lead, okay? Last time I mentioned lead army men, people got all in an uproar about how people are babies nowadays. You can't have everything. It's like the boomers came and attacked. Guys, believe it or not, lead is not good for you.
What the Sigma?
Don't go licking lead paint off of walls, alright? But these are super vintage army men. And I know this is not a bucket. However, these originally came in a small barrel box, which I think is where the army men bucket kind of originated. And so these were all sold as a kit in a small little bucket. So let's check them out. Okay, I actually just checked the eBay listing. Supposedly, these are from the 20s or 30s. Now, they are lead, so they're pretty lightweight, actually. You might think that this looks extremely heavy, but it's not. We've got an artillery piece or a machine. I think it's a Maxim machine gun. It's just got an especially long barrel for some reason right there. You can see where it used to be painted red and green. Maybe I'll restore these, but I honestly think they look pretty cool in this kind of withered state. That's just me, though. Either way, this one looks sweet. I believe they're supposed to be World War I style American doughboys. Let's see what we got next here, baby. Is this a rock? What is this? Oh, it's a little tank. Oh, I think it's supposed to be a Sherman. So maybe actually some of this is World War II era. That soldier is definitely not World War II though. This obviously is missing its gun barrel. All right, well, you know, that's kind of what you get when you have 100-year-old army men toy soldiers here. All right, the next one. All right, we got a standard soldier here. Very nice. Look at that. That is actually sick. Feels super fragile. Is that wood? The base might actually be wood. It's very soft. And that very well could actually be a World War II soldier. It looks like the uniform they wore at the Bulge, but the rifle is obviously a little bit cooked right there. The paint is chipping horribly. Not a good time to be a army man. It's just rough. It's just tough out here. Oh, here we go. America, oh glory, baby.
The U.S. Army. Oh, yeah. Your experience may differ.
Yes, sir. We got the American flag right there. They only painted the front. Interesting. Okay, fair enough. And I do wonder if these came painted or if you had to paint them yourself. Just dropped one on the ground. Okay, another American flag bearer right there. Very nice. This is the old regiment we got here, boys. Bunch of these. They wrapped them really nicely, I will say. Excellent job. Excellent work. Oh, okay, so this is totally different. Hold on. So we got multiple different types because this is a different type of metal used here, much harder, and a completely different uniform and everything going on with this fella. So I guess this might be mixing and matching two different buckets of army men or something along those lines. I'm not entirely sure. We've also got a man gripping his rifle right here. Pretty much none of the rifles survived. 90% of them are missing pieces of rifle. That's okay. All right. Next up. Oh goodness gracious. What is this? What is this? Is it supposed to be like a 50 cal that he's hand holding as an AA gun? What kind of muscles did they have back in the day? Holy cow. God dang. My man was a Giga Chad, wasn't he? Holy cow. Okay. After that hulkish feat of American prowess, we've got another one of these marching fellas. All right. Let's get some variety here, people. Let's get some variety. And another marching fella. God dang it. No variety for us. It's okay. There's still more to go. Let's see here. All right, another one of these variants. So this is a marching soldier, but much higher quality, much better paint job on him as well, and much more detailing on the weapons. Nice. Let's see what we got here. Oh, another low quality marching soldier. Right back into it. Right back into the slop. All right, here we go. Oh, another AA trooper. Oh, it does have a stand. Okay. There is actually a stand. It's just attached to his legs. I understand now. So he's not just like freewheeled a 50 cal in the air. Okay, that makes a bit more sense. And is this the final? This is the final one. Just another marching soldier. God dang it. However, despite having a lot of replicas in here, we also have these, which are pretty cool. So these are actually tents. Okay, for the U.S. infantry. So the OG Army Men tent, you would put it up like that, and then there's a little piece of cardboard on the interior that you fold upward, and you can have yourself a nice little Army Men tent, a nice little canvas tent. Really high quality canvas, actually. They used to make things way better than they do now, but you can have your little artillery guy waiting in ambush inside the tent, I guess. I don't know. Well, we have 100 years of Army Men here, from microplastic in our bloodstream all the way up to lead in our bloodstream, baby. We got all the toxins here. And you can see the evolution there. I really feel like, you know, you started with quality in some ways, but also cheapness in some ways, and then as manufacturing got better, they made a really high quality Army Men, and then as mass manufacturing got better, you got kind of a cheaper Army Men, and then we have today where I feel like it's more of a neutral ground, a very solid Army Men, but not quite as good as maybe like the 90s Army Men. I don't know, what's your favorite era that you saw in today's video? Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Please be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and I'll see you all in the next one. Peace!